Hey guys, this is Jam of jamonline.ph and welcome back to my channel, and today magkakameron tayo ng gaming review ng Realme 7 Pro. So the smartphone is the latest mid-range smartphone from the company, and this one is quite interesting kasi they opted for an AMOLED display for this one instead of the IPS display with 90Hz. But according to sa ating previous gaming review, hindi tayo nakaka-reach ng 90 FPS on most games, actually on all games that we have reviewed on the Realme 6 Pro. So with the Realme 7, they opted back to 60Hz, but mas maganda yung panel natin with an AMOLED display. We still have here the Snapdragon 720G octa-core processor, which is decent enough naman sa mga games ngayon na available sa market. Of course, the variant that we got comes with an 8 GB of RAM and 128 GB of internal storage. Actually, makikita nyo ngayon sa screen nyo, this is the Realme 7 Pro. Mas maganda yung kanyang panel. It's AMOLED, it's colorful, the blacks are really black, and it's really vivid. One of the main features pa dito is, aside dun sa kanyang 4,500 mAh of battery, which is big enough for a 6.43-inch na Super AMOLED display, this one comes with a 65 watts fast charging. In our previous video, if nakafollow kayo sa Facebook page ko, na fully charged natin ang Realme 7 Pro in just 38 minutes from 0% to 100%, which means that it's really fast and it's really good. Okay, so this time magkakameron tayo ng game bench, and of course makikita nyo dito, just to give you a short recap, sa baba ko is the median FPS, which shows you yung current median FPS, and then sa FPS graph makikita nyo doon yung live FPS natin dito sa ating smartphone habang naglalaro tayo. So for this review, magkakameron tayo ng gaming review sa Mobile Legends, Call of Duty Mobile, and of course PUBG Mobile. So meron din tayong Black Desert Mobile, but for now maglalaro muna tayo ng Mobile Legends, which is a very casual game lang naman, very easy, and very easy sa hardware. So yeah, what are we waiting for? Maglaro na tayo and i-benchmark na natin si Mobile Legends. Alright guys, so we're playing the all-new Mobile Legends. Medyo may konting changes siya sa UI and everything. So we're gonna go muna dito sa settings. So as you can see in here, the graphic settings, we have optimized FPS, we got HD mode, outline on, shadows on, everything is on. Unfortunately, hindi ko na alam kung bakit nawala yung HFR. Previously, there's HFR, but this time wala tayong HFR, and the graphic settings is set at high. Okay, so time to, nakikita nyo naman, actually, nag-start na tayo ng game bench. So right now, the median FPS is 31, which is weird. Supposedly, meron siya dating HFR mode. Ngayon, wala na siyang HFR mode. So, okay. You can see in here, dito sa ating video, on our main video that we're playing Mobile Legends right now. And yeah, it's around 30 frames per second. I'm not sure why there's no 60 frames per second. Previously, meron talaga 60 frames per second. Okay, so let's try playing the game. Okay, so far, parang mas gumanda yung graphics ng Mobile Legends this time compared sa previous na Mobile Legends. I am not a Mobile Legends player, pero nakita ko yung difference this time. Okay, so tingnan natin. So, mas may details tayo dito. Mas maganda yung kulay. And as you can see, we got here an AMOLED panel. Actually, nakikita nyo dito pa lang sa camera that the display does have a better colors when it comes dito sa Mobile Legends. A big advantage when you're playing games like mobile games, okay? You won't probably need a 90 or 90 frames per second on this one. But yeah, sayang walang 60 frames per second. But for me, mahalaga sa akin yung kulay when it comes to mobile games like this one, Mobile Legends. Okay, so let's see. So let's try to beat some mobs dito. Okay, medyo mabilis yung ating pacing. But yeah, we're already at 2 minutes, and yeah, you can see in here that the median frames per second is 30. Hindi na siya lumayo sa 30 frames per second. But overall, yung line natin is almost, wala actually frame drops. Makikita may konting ganun lang. Just ano lang yan, wala lang yan. But yeah, it's smooth at 30 frames per second. I believe kaya ng smartphone na 60 frames per second, but I do not know why there's no HFR mode this time. So as of this recording, there's no HFR mode. Supposedly, dapat meron. Okay, so nandito na tayo sa Clash. Matatapos na rin kagad to. So, let's see. And wala namang frame drops na nangyayari. Still at 30 frames per second kahit na maraming action na nangyayari dito. Kita niyo naman, marami akong ginagawa and all. But yeah, everything is running smooth as expected. No problems at all. But yeah, I was expecting that there's 60 frames per second on, on Mobile Legends. So okay, let's try finishing this game. And yeah, I believe this one has a median frames per second of 30 median frames per second with 100% FPS stability. So yeah, I've stopped game bench. Now you've seen Mobile Legends. How about proceeding to our next game, which is Call of Duty Mobile. So for our next game, it's Call of Duty Mobile on the Realme 7 Pro. So let me show you the graphic settings first. So we've set it up at high graphic settings with maximum frame rate. We cannot enable the anti-aliasing, water reflection, and also the bloom. But yeah, everything is running fine. So let's try multiplayer mode like what we always do. And of course, we will pick Nuketown, similar to our previews natin ng mga maps and everything. So yeah. Okay, so let's start game bench on this one. So you've seen the graphic settings a while ago. Maximum settings is only capable dun sa high graphic settings. So yeah. Okay, so we're getting 59 median frames per second. Actually, 60 FPS. No problems at all. But wow. Okay, so one of the advantage of having an AMOLED display, again, is the colors. And I can see the difference between the Realme 6 Pro's IPS display versus the AMOLED panel of this one. Super AMOLED panel of this one. Really good. Sayang lang we do not have the 90 frames per second on this one. Even on the Realme 6 Pro, I was hoping that we could get that high refresh rate for better touch sampling, better response and everything. But yeah, we don't have that one. But yeah, this one is still pretty responsive, and 60 frames per second is the maximum. I believe na yung maximum niya na possible na FPS dito sa game na to. Not bad at all. Okay, so let's try. Okay, so the 6.4-inch Super AMOLED display is kind of okay for this one. I mean, perfect siya for gaming. It's large enough and it's pocketable enough para sa ating mga pockets and all. So yeah, wala akong problema dito actually. Okay, try natin magpalabas ng drone. Ooh, 2 people dead. Okay, so nakikita nyo naman, the FPS graph is going down lang to 58. So basically, it's smooth. No problems at all. Basically, hindi mo mapapansin yung problema when playing this game. Okay, so lang yung napatay natin with that predator kill. Let's see, one more. One lang. Okay. So, let's see here. Okay, so far, maganda naman yung frames natin. As expected, it's 60 frames per second. Wala tayong nagiging problema. It is smooth. And overall, okay na okay. Okay na okay tayo dito, guys. But yeah, sayang lang na wala tayong 90Hz talaga. But yeah, the 6 Pro naman doesn't have the same 90 frames per second. Kasi nga, hindi niya na-take advantage yung 90Hz refresh rate in some games. But mapapansin niyo yung difference ng kanyang touch sampling rate, mas responsive doon. But I barely noticed that one. Parang mas na-appreciate ko na, okay, we got here a colorful panel. A colorful panel and vivid colors, which is mas nakakaano maglaro, mas nagugustuhan ko maglaro. Kasi mano ako sa colors eh. I prefer the colors talaga when playing games like this. Not just the frames per second. Okay. Wala na ba ako ito? Oh man, okay. So we finished the game. Victory, of course. So let's end the game bench. I believe we're also getting your 100% or at least a 99 or 98% FPS stability at around 59 to 60 median frames per second. So overall, wala tayong problema when playing games on the Realme 7 Pro. Now, let's proceed to our next game. For our next game, it's PUBG Mobile. So again, it's a Snapdragon 720G. We all know how it performed previously, but this time we're getting here a better version of PUBG Mobile compared to this Realme 6 Pro gaming review. So with the PUBG 1.0, we're getting here better performance, but the graphic settings, maximum pa rin natin is actually balance settings. Actually HD settings with high frame rates, but we're gonna choose balance settings with ultra frame rates, but we're gonna add anti-aliasing to add some damage lang naman dito sa ating performance. So let's see if we could still get a 40 frames per second on PUBG Mobile with those settings. Okay, so of course, we're gonna choose, just like our previous natin na gaming review, we're gonna choose Arena or Team Deathmatch. And yeah, let's wait for a session natin ng game na to. Alright, so nandito na tayo sa Team Deathmatch. Let's start benchmarking this one on Game Bench. Okay, so right now we're getting 40 frames per second as expected. We're getting better graphics in here compared to the previous na version ng PUBG Mobile. Okay, so let's try getting this one. So this is Sniper. But yeah, okay, so recap lang tayo. Let's go to the frames. Right now, it's actually smooth at 40 frames per second. No problems at all when playing on the Snapdragon 720G. And by the end of this session natin ng gaming, gagamit tayo nito. This is the temperature sensor. So nakasaksak na tayo, partida na. So mas mainit normally. But yeah, it's not that warm actually. It's colder than I expected. So, mas maganda yung temperature na nakukuha natin dito on the Realme 7 Pro. You can see in here, the median frames per second is still at 40. So, overall, smooth yung gameplay natin dito. Oh, no. Okay. Sala yung pindot natin. But yeah, it's still at 40 median frames per second. Nagkakameron lang tayo ng down to 37 frames per second whenever we're dying. Which is, we're dying a lot. So, let's see if we could kill that guy on the right. Yep, we beat that guy na nandun sa right ko kanina. Let's see if we could do some more damage to them. Nope. Okay, so yeah, I'm actually enjoying the game because we're getting decent frame rates on this one. 39 to 40. We barely reach below 37. I think yun yung lowest ko nakita. That's 37 frames per second. It's not bad. It's actually pretty good. And hoping lang sana nagkameron tayo ng higher frame rates on this one. Kasi the Snapdragon 720G is actually very capable na chipset. Sayang lang na hindi na maximize yung chipset na yun. Sayang lang. Na kaya pa naman ng higher frame rate. Siguro kaya extreme at balance settings. Or I'm not sure if that's possible on balance settings. But yeah, this is a quite enjoyable experience on the Realme 7 Pro despite ultra graphics lang tayo. Oh, by the way, ultra frame rates. By the way, you can install, which I don't recommend kasi baka maban kayo. I'm not sure the regulations regarding that one. There's this app called GFX Tool. It lets you run the game at up to extreme frame rates. Actually, ikaw yung mag-a-adjust ng kahit anong graphic settings. Kung naglalag siya, problema mo na yun. But yeah, you could adjust the graphic settings kung ano man yung gusto mo, which is really good and interesting. I've used that one on different smartphones na pinatakbo ko before on PUBG Mobile na walang higher settings pero still capable ng game na yun. And yeah, okay naman siya, but yan, magsasacrifice kayo pagdating sa temps. Mararamdaman nyo na may konting higher temps na maki-experience doon. Okay, so we got 17 kills and 32 actually. So we're trying to beat the enemy before ending this game. And we're already running at 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Wow. Medyo matagal tayo naglalaro. Interesting. Interesting. 40 median frames per second pa din. This is quite smooth. Hindi ako nag-expect ng ganito yung temps niya. Malamig siya actually. Pero oh no, we're gonna lose. Okay. They landed the final blow on me. But you can see in here, okay, 40 median frames per second. That is really good. That is really good. Okay? Nagato yung temps. Huwag nyo napansinin yung konting ganun sa dulo. I believe it's 100% or 98% FPS stability makukuha natin dito. I'm pretty happy with the Realme 7 Pro when it comes to PUBG Mobile. So, nakita nyo na ang PUBG Mobile. Now, let's proceed to our next game. So for our last game, it's Black Desert Mobile. Again, it's one of my favorite MMOs available right now on smartphones, and it's really beautiful. I mean, the graphics, the gameplay and experience, but most of the time, yung talagang graphics, yung ma-experience mong maganda sa kanya because of the customizations and everything. So yeah, we've set the game at the highest settings possible, but of course, it automatically adjusts depending on the temps and of course yung performance of smartphone. But yeah, we're gonna place it at max settings, high resolution, high effects, high texture, and maximum frame rate. The maximum frame rate for this one is 45. So let's see if we could get that 45 frames per second on this one. Okay, so right now we're running it at 30 frames per second. We're currently in a village right now, and medyo nasa starting point tayo. And we can see that the median frames per second varies from around 36 to 45. So yes, it's not the highest frame rates that we can get. But if you tone down the graphic settings, the Snapdragon 720G can handle it ng mas mataas sa frame rates. But for me, I'm already fine with 37 median frames per second. We're getting up to 35 right now. So depende siguro kung nasan tayo. So okay, so let's try beating some mobs. Let's see what would happen if there are a lot of effects or fighting that is going on in the game. Tignan natin if magkakameron nga ba ng difference? If magkakameron ba ng frame drops na nakakaanoy or nakaka-distract when playing the game. Okay, right now, we're having frame rates of 45. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, so let's try. Okay, so this... Okay, so mapapansin nyo na may frame drops tayo to 29 because of the effects and also the things that is going on in the game. So when there is a lot of effects that is going on, you can see in the graph below that the median frames per the frames per second dropped to up to 29. I think yun yung parang lowest na nakita ko, or 24. So yeah, it's noticeable that we're getting that frame rate. So I highly suggest tone down the graphic settings, not the frame rates, but probably the texture, the effects, or the other things. But so far, yeah, let's try playing the game pa. Let's do some quest. Tingnan natin. Okay, right now, it's 46. So when there's no, effects, fighting, or things that is going on, it can reach up to 46, the maximum frame rate. But right now, it's 41. Depende talaga sa effect. So when we close up, let's see. So when we close up, it's actually going down to 27 because there's a lot of texture na nangyayari sa mukha, lots of polygons and everything. We also got some lighting effects at the back. You can see here the fire at the back. So yeah, that's a lot of effects that is needed, a lot of resources for the Realme 7 Pro to process. Okay, so let's try planting some sunflowers. And we're getting 43. Okay, 43, not bad, not bad. Not bad. 38 median frames per second, 42. Okay, so yeah, I think nakita nyo naman na meron talagang fluctuation when it comes to Black Desert Mobile, when it comes to the frames per second. You can see here, down when there's a lot of actions, then okay lang naman siya, 46 or 45 when there's not much to see. So let's see. Okay, let's try going back. Let's go to the plains. I think there's a lot of mobs in here. So let's see if there would be a lot of things that will that will affect our gameplay. So let's see. Let's try playing the game pa, okay? Okay, so ito medyo madami ditong foxes. Okay, so let's try. Okay. There's a lot of effects that's going on. Okay, you can see that the graph goes down to 24. That is, wow. Okay. 24 to 26, 35. It's fluctuating. 24, 35. So hindi natin masabi kung ano ba talaga yung kanyang yung sweet spot natin. So depende talaga dito. But yeah, ang pinakamagandang suggestion ko dito, tone down the graphic settings and you can get a better frame rates on this game. Okay, so let's try. Tapusin lang natin siguro 1 or 2 quests, then let's see what would happen in the game. Okay, so yan, let's finish this one. Okay, so when there's not a lot of things going on, you can see that the frame rates goes up to 41. Okay, goes up to 41. Okay, so let's see. Okay, drive out the imps. Okay, just I think tapusin lang natin tong drive out the imps and let's see the temperature that we can get on the smartphone. Okay, okay, so there's a lot of imps. Let's see. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, medyo marami yon, and we've gone down to 24. Oh, okay. So we've reached up to 19 frames per second. Yeah, that's kind of distracting that we're getting that frame rates. But so far, ano lang naman ako. Ang ano ko dito is talagang tone down the graphic settings and you can enjoy Black Desert Mobile dito sa smartphone na to. So, yeah, you've seen the median frames per second. Okay, nag-adjust na tayo. I think it's time to end game bench. At around 4-5 minutes na din. So, you've seen yung ating game bench on the Black Desert Mobile. Now, time to do our verdict for this smartphone. So, let's check yung temps natin dito on the smartphone. So, let's see in here. Okay, so it can reach up to 38.3. Actually, okay na to. Actually, dito yung, yung hottest part niya eh. Kung saan tayo nagle-laser right now. It's 38.2. Not that bad. It's actually pretty good that we're getting 38.2 degrees Celsius on this smartphone. It isn't that hot. It means that it's warm, but it's not that hot. So yeah, I think doon na talaga tayo sa verdict natin. So time for the verdict on the Realme 7 Pro. We really enjoy playing the games, different games on the smartphone, ranging from Mobile Legends up to Black Desert Mobile. And we got our expected frames per second on this one. But of course, before we end our verdict, let's see yung ating mga game bench, mga benchmark on the smartphone. So first, let's check out our first benchmark natin is actually Antutu. We got a score of 285,974. It's already what we expected. And then of course, sa 3D Mark, we got a score of 2506 on the OpenGL and 2356 on Vulkan. Pretty good, not bad. But I believe mas higher yung makukuha nating scores when we play games sa Realme 7. Okay, with Geekbench, we got a single core score of 571 with a multi-core score of 1,704. Interesting. Okay. So, you've seen the benchmarks. How about yung ating verdict natin sa mga games na nilaro natin kanina? Actually, you can see the graph below. So, pagsimula muna tayo with Mobile Legends Bang Bang. Unfortunately, there's no HFR mode on Mobile Legends Bang Bang on the Realme 7 Pro, which is a little bit disappointing. Actually, it's disappointing for me that we do not have HFR mode for some unknown reason. Okay, we got 30 FPS with 100% stability, as expected. While Call of Duty, we got 59 frames per second with 100% FPS stability. Of course, as expected din na ganito yung nakuha natin. I mean, we've enjoyed the game and we really see that we got a really good na display panel dito. Mas maganda yung Nooktown, mas maganda yung colors and everything. So, the advantage minsan, mas madali mong makita yung kalaban kasi nga mas maganda yung mga kulay and all. Okay, with PUBG Mobile, we got a 40 frames per second at balanced graphics with ultra frame rates and of course 100% FPS stability. And in-expect ko na yon. Naka-on pa yung anti-aliasing. And mas maganda yung nakuha natin actually yata dito. Parang mas nag-enjoy ako dito eh. Maybe because of the panel, which is vivid enough for the Realme 7 Pro on PUBG Mobile. But yeah, hindi naman nag-reach na 60 frames per second or more. Kaya parang hindi nag-matter sa akin yung pagkakulang na 90 Hz dito. In Black Desert Mobile, dito nagkameron tayo na struggle as expected. It's a Snapdragon 720G. It's a mid-range chipset. Not a high-end one, but we got a 37 frames per second with 75% FPS stability during yung ating heavy scenes, okay? Nagkakameron tayo ng drop to 19 frames per second, okay? It's expected. But nakita niyo yung fluctuation ng drop natin kanina during our gameplay. And sa akin, acceptable pa rin to. This is a mid-range chipset, not a high-end one, but the fact that we can run Black Desert Mobile on Realme 7 Pro is already enough for me na masatisfy ako sa Snapdragon 720G. And yes, it's the same chipset of the Realme 6 Pro, which is a little bit disappointing. Sana nagkameron tayong upgrade dito like to 730G, but yeah, we didn't see that one. It's still 720G, but we got here a really fast 65 watts super dark fast charging, which means that naligo lang kayo, full charge na yung smartphone nyo, pwede na kayo ulit maglaro whole day. Ganun kabilis yung charging niya from 0 to 100%. And of course, malaki naman yung battery niya at 4500, and the display is a Super AMOLED panel, a 6.4-inch Super AMOLED panel na Full HD+. So yeah, hindi ako magre-reklamo doon. Maganda yung kulay, satisfied ako, and super okay naman ako na nag-shift sila from 90Hz na IPS to 60Hz AMOLED. So yeah, I guess that's it dito sa ating gaming review of the Realme 7 Pro. So if you like this video, don't forget to give us thumbs up. And of course, if hindi pa kayo nag-subscribe sa channel ko, well, now is the time to subscribe. So once again, I am Jam of JamOnline.ph. Thank you for watching and see you guys again sa susunod na video.